Hi, I'm Studio Hermit Ed. Welcome to my studio. That's right, it really happened. But the question is, how did it make me feel? I'm going to tell you at the end of this video. Okay, you have to understand who I am and where I'm coming from before I start this video. Now, I come from a religious, conservative household. My dad was a minister. And I was a construction worker my whole life. And yeah, a bit of a redneck. And if you want to use the word bigot, I think you probably could to describe me. And but over the years, I have learned. I hate to use this word as a Republican, but I have become a progressive. In some ways. Now I'm talking socially. And there's an elephant in the room here, we all know. But yeah, it's bigotry, really. The question is, when I have LGBTQ people come in the studio, and they do, how do you react? How did I react? Okay, given my background. Now, everyone comes in here. Okay, I get a lot of doctors and lawyers, and then I get janitors, maintenance men, truck drivers, chiropractors been in here, housewives, and people on unemployment, and people on disability. They all come through the studio, and they call themselves artists. And that's what I want to get at here today. Okay, even if you just record music and you work in a studio, you are an artist. I will give you that designation, okay? But, so we are artists. What is an artist? Well, we're pretty much free thinkers. We can pretty much think for ourselves, and give us enough time and we'll usually figure things out. Now that's the reason why when a dictator takes over a country, the first thing they have to do is get rid of the artists. Lock them up, or worse. And usually the worst happens, they get rid of us, okay? Now, artists, like I said, we're free thinkers. What does that mean? That means we're open to diversity. And when you're open to diversity, you care about humanity, and you can pretty much figure things out. And when you're being conned, usually we figure it out. We're usually the first ones, by the way, in a community. But we also, like I said, appreciate diversity. It took me a long time to get used to it, but I did. You know, growing up in the 60s and 70s, it was not easy for me to change, but I did. I learned that what makes art great, what makes a community great, what makes a nation great is its diversity. And I honestly believe that's what has made the United States of America great. Now, you know, we like to talk about these woke things and whatnot. I'm not going to get into politics here because I'm talking to artists here. I'm talking to you as an artist, because we have to deal with all the diversity, especially, I mean, even if you're just playing live shows. After a show, if you've done very much live playing, I don't care if it's in a bar or in a church, I've done them both. You know what I'm talking about here. People come up to you afterwards if you make yourself available, because you got to clean up. You're usually packing stuff up, especially if you're a smaller artist and playing in the venues. You're at least packing up usually your guitars and your keyboards, whatever instrument you're playing. And then if you're a nice person, you're going to hang around and help the drummer. And in that process, people come up to you and you meet them all. I mean all. Diversity from one spectrum all the way to the other. You're going to get your ears full, and you're going to learn a lot about people. Okay, and then if you have a recording studio, they all come through the door in one form or another. Now, being raised the way I was, like I said, I use the word bigot, and I don't use it loosely. I use that word to describe myself, okay? I'm talking about me here. I was, but I learned, okay? It took me a lot of years. I'm 63 years old, and I was probably in my 50s before I really started to figure it out. Now, politicians and the whole political process uses diversity. I don't care if it's money diversity, economic. I don't care if it's the color of your skin, your nationality, your country of origin, and of course your sexual orientation. The whole political process, it uses that against us usually. A lot of people think that politicians are in office to help us. They're not. They're in office to help themselves. I think we've figured that out, haven't we by now? And I mean, like I said, I don't want to turn this into a political channel, but I just think we need to understand diversity. And things are going to happen in the studio and when you're playing live, because music brings out emotion in people. And when that emotion comes out, you may get kissed by a guy. And that's what, now, here's the main thing, okay? It didn't change who I am. I've always been heterosexual, still am. I've been married to the same woman for 43 years, for Christ's sake. If that doesn't count for something here, okay, like I said, I'm a redneck construction worker. I work with my hands my whole life. Look at them, they're all beat up. But I digress. Okay, so you know who I am, where I'm coming from, and I get kissed by a guy. How did it make me feel? I promised you I'd tell you. It did not change who I am. Did it turn me on? No, no, not really. It just really was nothing. And that's the point I want to get across. Diversity, if you really respect it and understand what it is, it doesn't mean anything. Really, it shouldn't. I'll say that, okay? But so when I got kissed, did it turn me on by another guy? And but okay, did it turn him on? I don't care. I mean, I kind of hope it did. I'd be flattered, right? Wouldn't you? Maybe not. Maybe you'd cool cock the guy. But hey, and you know, in the emotion, when you're doing a take and it comes out perfect, everybody gets emotional. And yes, by the way, this was a gay gentleman, and that was okay with me. I really didn't care. Okay, I'm not sure of myself here. It did not change who I am. So that was the way I felt about it. Okay, if you own a recording studio and you're going to work with the public, and even if you're playing live, like I said, you're working with the public. That's what you're there as a salesman. Whether you're selling Jesus or selling alcohol, you're going to meet all these diverse people, and you've got to handle it. That's got to be, main thing is remember, it's not going to change who you are. You're still going to be the same person. Deal with everybody. Treat them all with love and respect, and you'll get along just fine. This is Studio Hermit Ed. I hope I gave you a little bit of good advice today. But don't worry about the diverse people. Just respect it and enjoy it, because it's what makes the world go around, right? We're all different. Every cell in our body is different than somebody else's cells in their body. So, hey, I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Until then, you take care of yourself and love everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.